Sorry. Okay, doing another book reading, and it's for The Dragon Soulmate is the Mushroom Princess, Part 6. Okay, I think this is where we ended off. Okay, this is where we left off. Alright. Still smiling, he kissed the back of her hand. Just then, a couple of red mushrooms popped out of the front of his shirt. Being met with this sight, the sight of the handsome prince smiling up at her with two... how did I pronounce that again? Amanita muscaria sprouting from his chest felt so bizarre, even for her. What are you doing? She yanked her hand free from his grip, flustered by the... It was only on the hand. Would you act like he kissed you on the lips? Free from his grip, flustered by the sudden kiss and the resultant mushroom sprouting. She meant to chastise him, but the prince looked utterly unconcerned. I told you, I plan to really throw myself into this. I'm going to be wooing you all over town. A kiss like this is only the logical first step. Really? Dude? She knew he was only talking about their ruse, but still. Those words had a mesmerizing effect coming from such a handsome face. If I remember correctly, he was asking her to act like his girlfriend, I think, to keep the ladies away from him, but I think he's doing it to make her fall in love with him. And then it wouldn't be a ruse anymore. It would actually be real. I think. I'm assuming that's what his plan is. Another cluster of mushrooms sprouted up on the back of Claude's glove as if responding to Agnes's feelings. Of course he loves it. Agnes narrowed her eyes, appraising them. Gymnophilus Junonius? I'm probably butchering these words. She sighed. You're gonna wind up covered in mushrooms if you carry on like this, and I think that's the idea. I can think of nothing better. His dazzling smile was blinding her. Once again, she realized how futile it was to use logic against a mushroom maniac. Perhaps I was too hasty agreeing to this plan after all. As Claude continued to beam at her, Agnes felt a wave of regret wash over her. Claude said he planned to throw himself into this. He said he planned to woo her all over town, but Agnes had no idea that he meant this. What's he doing? Oh dear. Maurice and the servants of the Lefort residence were on friendly speaking terms by now. After all, he came every day with the regular bouquet delivery. He was supposed to be a knight, but lately he had become a one-man flower delivery service. Now Agnes's room was crammed wall to wall with colorful flowers. The balls of light inhabited by the spirits floated happily around the room, going from vase to vase. The flowers looked beautiful and smelled lovely too, but the sight of them weighed heavily on Agnes's mind. If it was just the flowers, that'd be one thing. She could accept them graciously, but Claude started sending handwritten letters along with the flowers ever since the day after their agreement was made. Not message cards, actual letters. He was going far beyond the terms of their agreement. Yes, alright, he did say he was going to go all out, but handwritten letters from a prince? On the daily? Anyway, how are letters supposed to help our mutual cause? Unless he or his servants tell other people about them, no one's even going to know he's sending them but me and him, she said to Kevin later as they sipped tea together. Well, he probably is telling people about them. Or his servants and friends are spreading the rumors. Kevin pointed out that horrifying possibility after biting into a tea cookie. After the ball, Agnes had gone straight to her father and Kevin and explained what happened. She let them know that Claude would be acting very friendly toward her, but they weren't to worry. Still, she'd never expected the prince would go this far. No, he wouldn't. Would he? She replied to Kevin, concerned. Well, you said that he said he was going to go all out, right? Her brother asked. Pretend to be head over heels in love? No, Dad, it'd be easier to broadcast it than just send personal letters. He should just say it. Why does he need to write it down every day? Agnes grabbed a nearby envelope and thrust it at Kevin. Well, he has to express how head over heels he is. No one's ever going to read these letters. He's just making extra work for himself. Like I said, that's the point. He's trying to get you to fall in love with him, so he's going the extra mile on it. If he wanted people to know he was sending Agnes love letters, all he had to do was leak that to the servants. No need to actually write them. I guess he's doing it just to make sure that nobody tries to say, wait, is that actually true, and then try to prove it. So we actually have proof. He didn't even need to use real envelopes, or waste stationery, let alone waste the ink. But you are rating them, aren't you, sis? Yes, well, I thought they might have instructions in them regarding our arrangement. Instead, he just writes page after page of absolute nonsense, each and every day. Agnes dropped the envelope onto the table and took a fortifying sip of tea, trying to relax. But her agitated state was evident by the row of Boletus edulis that sprouted along Kevin's arms. With deep brown velvety caps, the mushroom didn't look particularly tasty, but it was, in fact, highly edible. Also known as porcini mushroom. I guess porcini. I don't remember if there's an actual mushroom called that in our world. I assume it's all from our world. He's just using mushrooms. It was delicious stir-fried or baked. She sent those down to the kitchens after she finished chatting. Kevin carefully plucked the mushrooms and arranged them on the table. Then he picked up the envelope. Can I read this? Go ahead. It's not like it was written out of real love. Actually, I think it was. But she don't know that. For Agnes anyway, she didn't care who read it, but for some reason Kevin's face clouded over. Weird. He's the one who asked to read it. I think the prince would be shocked to know you let your little brother read his heartfelt letter. I'm the one who's in shock here. Just read it if you want. Oh god, am I gonna have to read it too? This is just... I'm just looking at it while I'm sitting here, and it's so cringe and cheesy. I'm surprised cheese isn't coming out of the freaking screen, how cheesy it is. Oh, please don't make me read this. I gotta read it. But yeah, it's one of those letters that seems like it's from a freaking movie or something with how cheesy it is. No, actually, it makes me think of the letter that is in that... Shoot. Claude writes, dang it, I forgot her name, and I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss, that she gets in season, no, that season, I don't know which episode, but it was so freaking cheesy, and she was just utterly wrecked by it. Hello, Agnes, how many days have passed since the ball where we first met? Oh god, my heart is filled with sadness, knowing I must wait until the next public event to see you again. Why does he have to wait? Why can't he just show up at the freaking door? I know he's a prince, but still. If he's supposed to be courting her, he should be able to go anytime he pleases. Right? He shouldn't have to wait till a public event to do it. But I soothe myself by... Oh, God. Gazing at the splendid mushrooms you grow. What does he do with those mushrooms, I wonder? That's what I wonder. I know. The yellow hue of the... Clavulinopsis helvola reminds me of your... Oh, God. Don't go into detail on the mushrooms, please. What the heck? It's a love letter to mushrooms. It was addressed to Agnes, sure, but the content was unmistakably written with mushrooms in mind. I don't think that's the case. I think he does like mushrooms, but I think he likes you. And the fact that you make mushrooms appear is just a bonus. Comparing my dress to Clavulinopsis... I am not going to be able to pronounce these guys. Helvola, seriously? Wait, let me read the next part. Oh, God. The contrast between your peach blossom hair and the yellow dress was exquisite, and you drew all eyes when you entered the ballroom. Naturally, I, too, was charmed. How blessed I am to be able to stand by your side, and don't worry, I intend to fight full responsibility for and ownership of any and all mushrooms, so just relax and let them sprout. I cannot wait to see you again. Claude Visage. Sage, whatever. Oh, that's nice. He spends the second half of the letter complimenting you. I mean... Seriously, he likes mushrooms. I don't think he loves mushrooms in that way. I think he loves you. Like I said, I think the mushroom thing is just a bonus for him. He keeps mentioning mushrooms. Who bangs on about mushrooms in a letter to someone that they supposedly love? It's like, am I even needed in this equation anymore? Would he and the mushrooms like to go and get her? Oh my god, I love this dang book. Kevin scanned the letter again, shoulders slumping. But he seems sincere. Everyone says he got a spotless romantic record. It's practically a blank slate. True, this didn't seem like the kind of letter some philanderer would send to a girl he was scamming. Not that Agnes had ever gotten any letters like that to compare. The only letters Philip had ever sent during their engagement were terse notes reminding her to dress modestly. Compared to those, Claude's were practically awash with romance, but then again, he is being romantic in his own weird way. Who rambles on about mushrooms in a letter that's only being sent for show anyway? And have you ever sent anyone a letter all about mushrooms, Kevin? No, he doesn't like mushrooms probably that way, but still. It does seem abnormal. Agnes felt a flood of relief. Finally, someone agreed with her. Also, she was glad that Kevin wasn't another oddity who thought writing letters about fungi was acceptable behavior. Right? Kevin, this can only mean one thing, right? Kevin placed the letter back down on the table and nodded. You're right. The prince is actually very awkward at actually a big mushroom pervert. No, I think he's just awkward. Awkward at wooing a woman. Agnes interrupted her brother breathlessly in a highly agitated state. Kevin grimaced. What makes you say that? Well, the letter goes on about mushrooms from start to finish. He only mentions the mushrooms a little bit. And the rest of the time he compliments you. And when we met, he wasn't freaked out by mushrooms. He took them in stride, and then he himself told me he'd fallen for them. He's an obvious mushroom pervert. That's why he forced me into this weird arrangement. Right? Right? If all he wanted was a shield to keep thirsty females away, he had us pick up pretty ones to choose for the job. And choosing a really pretty one would dash the other's hopes. But he chose me. Which meant he had another motive. I'm probably the only girl in the world with mushroom sprouting powers, and I have no other prospect because of my vile... Your hair color is not vile. I like that hair color on her. The prince probably sees me as a golden goose that lays mushroom spores. No wonder he's interested. You're right that you're the only one who can sprout mushrooms, Kevin replied. And I also agree that the prince does seem to have taken an interest in you. But I don't believe that the mushrooms are all he cares about. Thank you! Somebody agrees with me. Right, my hair color plays into it as well. My vile hair color will creep other women out and keep them well away. I don't get what her freaking deal is with the hair color. Sure, it's not... It's unique to the area because it's from her father's country. But it's not ugly. It's pretty. It's cute. Stigma, you know? But it'll also keep men away. That's kind of an unwelcome side effect for a prince, I would have thought. Still, when the time came, Claude could easily distance himself from Agnes, wouldn't he? Or couldn't he? Kevin sighed, shoulders slumping. Damn it! That Philip really did a number on you. Sis, I'd like to give him a piece of my mind. I wish he would. What's this about Philip now? Listen to me, sis. As I've said many, many times, your hair is beautiful. Your eyes, too. And you're as pretty as any other nobleman's daughter, no matter what Philip says. I know that Philip is a silly fool with a wandering eye and loose morals. Yes, he is. That's what I'm saying. But even so, at least Philip let me know how the outside world really sees me. No, he doesn't. He just didn't want to be seen with someone so freaking pretty that it would draw away any other women that wanted him. I owe him my gratitude for that. It was Philip, after all, who cared enough to help her temper her clothes in general. No, it's not helping. You got your priorities all wrong, girl. You gotta get out of this mindset. Hopefully Claude can help with that. Even if she often felt like he was taking things too far. But it worked, didn't it? In the end, Philip had been proven right. You don't seem to understand at all. Why do you still put so much faith in what Philip told you? Because you and Father are both way too kind. You'd never look at me with disgust. No, but still. It doesn't matter whether you're family or not. They're being honest. There's no reason to, anyway. Agnes smiled. Kevin was so sweet. So that's why I always remember what Philip said. He told me the absolute truth. Kevin looked like he was about to say something, but eventually just sighed instead. This conversation always just ends up going around in circles. I can see I'm not going to get through to you until the spell of Philip's wicked influence is broken. Kevin picked up all the letters, stacked them, and then handed them to Agnes. Then he picked out the Boletus Edulis. This art agreement you've made with Claude doesn't sound like such a bad deal to me. After all, he'll probably free you from the spell. I hope so. Oh god, the mushroom of the day. Oh god, I don't even think I've seen this one. Psilocybs subcarolupus. Dark brown caps, a little mushroom that looks a bit like shimeji. It's one of the poisonous mushrooms referred to as magic mushrooms. It can induce vomiting, paralysis, and derangement. It popped up when Agnes said Mushroom Mania, clearly thinking it was its time to shine. Alas, it was too hasty. Clavelinopsis helvola, a yellow mushroom that grows from the ground like French fries. Nicely arranged on the table, it offers words of consolation to the hasty... Amanita muscaria. Red caps, white dots, the poisonous mushroom. I guess the telltale mushroom you would think of when you think of a poisonous mushroom. It sprouted up when Claude attempted a kiss, but neither that nor the mushroom was received warmly. Gymnopilus genonius, a poisonous mushroom that looks like a yellow shimeji. Didn't you already have one on that? Hang on. It looks like... Okay, yeah, it kind of... But that's not quite... Yeah. A staple of the mushroom world that sprouts up to give the Amanita muscaria a boost. Boletus edulus. It's an edible mushroom with a velvety dark brown cap. The cap can be over 15 centimeters wide. It tastes great in a stir fry or broiled. The bigger the better. Kevin will take it down to the kitchen soon. The mushroom tried to tell Agnes see you at the dinner table, but unfortunately she didn't seem to understand it. Oh god. Really, the mushrooms talk now? This is a weird story. Chapter 8. Head over heels and crazy for you. Long time no see, Agnes. Upon her arrival at Duke Watu's residence, the carriage door opened to reveal a handsome man with dark gray eyes who smiled as he greeted Agnes. After last time, she should have been expecting this. Yet she couldn't hide her discomfort. In what kind of world does an actual prince of the realm come to greet a middling noblewoman at her carriage? In this one, I was desperate to see you and couldn't wait. Oh wait, this is Claude. Doi. Wait, what? Is that really Claude? I guess. Agnes took Claude's proffered hand and alighted from the carriage. She was so flustered by what he just said to her that a series of umber-colored mushrooms sprouted on the back of his cloth. Girl. Well, then again, he likes that, but I don't think he's a mushroom. I don't think he's in love with mushrooms. I think he's just got a slight kink for it. But that doesn't mean anything. He still loves her. Plurosibella porigens. Its warty cap was unmistakable, and there were 3 of them, lined up merrily along the back of Claude's gloved hand. A sort of yellowish-brown color today, so you don't always accessorize the mushrooms you sprout with the same color as your dress. Nope. I guess it just depends on her mood and everything. Claude examined the mushrooms with a smile before plucking them and handing them to Maurice. Is it for safekeeping, or is he going to have them appraised for purchase? That could work. You could sell the mushrooms. That'd be cool. You could sell the edible ones in the town, and the poisonous ones, I don't know, sell them to the court, because then they could use it against their enemies in war or something? Agnes thought over what Claude had just said. Perhaps the mushrooms aligning to her dress in terms of color was a key sprouting feature. Key sprouting feature? Goodness. Claude's mushroom mania was rubbing off on her like poisonous spores. As she sighed, another light purple fungus sprouted from the back of Claude's other hand. Alloclaveria purpurea. How many mushrooms are there in this world? Or in the world, I guess. I guess a lot. Also known as purple coral. The long, thin stems resembled worms. Agnes wasn't sure if this was a reaction to Claude pointing out the synergy of her dress color and the mushroom's color, or to her own thoughts. That dress looks splendid on you, Agnes. It really offsets your peach blossom hair. Thank you. The dress that had been tailored for Agnes was the exact same shade of purple as that mushroom. Philip had once had a purple dress made for her, but it was a completely different shade of purple than this one. That one resembled a bruise's dark purple, whereas this one looked like a flower meadow in full bloom. Nice! I like purple. Good choice. Made of multiple thin layers, the dress was flowy and quite adorable. She also wore a matching purple flower hair comb set and earrings. She couldn't help noticing that Claude also wore a purple flower in his buttonhole. No doubt he did that on purpose to match me, Agnes thought. Your Highness? We agreed on Claude, didn't we? Claude grinned over his shoulder at Agnes as he escorted her, and she felt a deep sense of deep exhaustion wash over her. Claude, you really didn't have to make me another dress, you know. Much less go to all this fuss over color coordinating. But I wanted to buy a dress, and I wanted to wear the same color as you. After all, I'm head over heels and here we go with the title. And crazy for you. Yes, that is our arrangement. But But there was no need for him to take things quite so seriously. Claude was a prince, and it was ridiculous for him to come and greet her at her carriage. Catching sight of Agnes's frown, Claude burst into hearty laughter. Everyone's already gossiping about how I've fallen head over heels for the girl with the peach blossom hair. I spread the rumor myself, you see. Once we get there, try to act a little bit more friendly toward me, will you? Why spread rumors? Surely it's enough for us to be seen together. Well, I'm crazy about you. I don't want any other man thinking he has a chance and trying to snatch you before you're officially mine. Yeah, I figured that was what he was going for. Get her to fall in love with him and then make it official. Grinning, Claude walked through the open front doors with a flourish. Question, when does this whole dragon soulmate thing pop up? Because that's in the title too. The ballroom was filled with glamorously dressed aristocrats, as one might expect from a duke's ball. As soon as Claude and Agnes entered, the room went dead silent. The atmosphere was stifling, but Claude paid no mind. Instead, he escorted Agnes inside. After spending the past few years trying to blend into the wallpaper, Agnes felt panicked over being scrutinized this way. Agnes was too frazzled to pay attention to anything that was going on. Okay, hang on. Let me set that down. My brother has already found his soulmate and was desperate to see me happy too. Well, now I am. How are you even thinking that that's your what was it? Dragon mate? I think that's what Philip was calling it. And apparently there's supposed to be some sort of sign that they are your soulmate. But what kind of sign do they mean? That's what I'm wondering because they never explained it. Does he view the mushrooms as the sign? I don't know. For I too am blessed by fate. Claude was even running their scam on a duke. He's got guts. True, leaking it to the most influential members of society was the fastest way to get the rumors permeating. But once their arrangement ended, they'd each go their separate ways. Agnes didn't want Claude laying it on quite this thick. And she wished she'd stop using the word fate and soulmate. Those words reminded her too much of her painful public jilting. Irritated and embarrassed, Agnes stared at her feet. She was exhausted, especially with all those eyes on her. Claude seemed to notice and quickly cut short the pleasantries. Taking Agnes by the hand, he led her out to the garden. Tired? They sat on a stone bench as Claude looked at Agnes with concern. All they'd done was show up to the ball and greet the host. Agnes felt guilty for her lack of stamina. What has she been doing all day? Surely she shouldn't be tired, right? I never had so many people... Oh, she's, I guess all the attention kind of got to her. Looking at it before, I'm sorry. Oh, it's alright, I think I got ahead of myself. I'll bring us some drinks, just sit here and rest a minute. Thank you. Agnes sighed, watching the moonlight... Oh, that's all day. Never mind. Of course she's tired. It's frickin' nighttime. Watching the moonlight shine on Claude's Prussian blue hair as he walked off. In her role as Claude's woman's shield, she'd probably have to attend many balls like this. It was going to take a lot of effort to get used to this arrangement. Living such a mousy life... Hang on. For so long had done nothing to prepare her. Congratulations on wrapping his high... Yay! Okay. Agnes looked up to find 5 women surrounding her bench. Great. Here we go, the jealous women. They wore brightly colored ball gowns, glittering jewelry, and perfect makeup. They were the kind of girls Agnes usually tried her best to avoid. The ones who care about nothing else but appearances. You're talking about Prince Claude, I take it. The woman's faces clouded over. After that disgraceful scandal you caused, it's shocking you to even show your face in society. She didn't cause no scandal. That was all Philip's doing. You commoner girls really are something else, one of them said. True. Most people would choose to hide away after being publicly dumped. Not that this had anything to do with being commoner born, it was probably just another button that these women wanted to push to make Agnes feel bad. Don't mistake His Highness's kindness for anything more, another girl said. I beg to differ. Agnes wouldn't. Besides, it wasn't kindness. It was a mutually beneficial agreement. Like a mushroom farmer and their customer. He only noticed you because of your hair. Anyway, you better not say anything bad about her hair. Her hair's pretty. I like that color. I'd love to have that kind of color hair. That's cute. Another girl piped in. True, Agnes' hair did stand out, but during the Philip era when she kept it hidden, it'd never really been an issue. It didn't change the color, so I don't know why it didn't draw any attention to it. Yeah, again, Agnes had to admit foolish Philip had been wise about that. You're just Claude's little plaything. Another girl sniffed. Nope, wrong. Nope, untrue. With my standing and looks, who'd even want to play it? Really? Don't be so down on yourself. I actually want to kick Philip's butt myself. Freaking get your self-esteem down that bad. Well, that may be a different story when it comes to my mushrooms. Yeah, kind of. Right. Just because your face is somewhat pretty, don't go thinking you're all that. Claude, get back there, now. Oh, it's quite nice. That wouldn't call me pretty. Yeah, I kind of thought that too. Agnes would have expected something like, don't go thinking you're all that ugly. Yeah, I thought she was going to say that too. Still, maybe it was just that girl's good breeding that prevented her from slinging insults outright. But then again, if she was really well brought up, she wouldn't be menacing another woman sitting defenselessly by herself. None of them would be. Hey, say something. You commoner, you and your cursed hair can get lost. Oh my god, I want to smack everybody in this dang world so much. That color hair is beautiful. It's unique. Oh, here we go. You got here just in time. Who were you talking about? A low voice rumbled and the women all froze. Oh, y'all are gonna get it now. At the sight of Prince Claude now standing there holding 2 glasses, the women immediately began to simper and smile. Yep, ignore them. Ignoring them, Claude held the glass out to Agnes. Here, Agnes, some water. I made them add lemon. Hopefully it'll re-energize you. Thank you for going to the trouble. Agnes took a sip. The lemon was indeed fresh, sharp, and invigorating. It's delicious. Agnes smiled, and Claude's expression softened. Then, a moment later, he scowled again. So? What are you girls doing here? And just who were you talking about just now? It's all a misunderstanding. No, it's not a misunderstanding. He's gonna know that's bullshit. Right, we were just, warning her about her... There's nothing to warn about her hair color, God. We were telling her she should tie it back like she used to so it doesn't stand out as much. Claude doesn't care. He loved it like that. Agnes blinked in surprise as the women all exchanged anxious glances. Yeah, they're worried that he's not going to want them now. She was convinced that nobody had even noticed her hair during the drab Philip days. Yep, they had. They just never said anything. But apparently they had, and they'd noticed she was trying to hide it too. She'd never heard a single complaint, though. Perhaps that's the correct aristocratic way. I asked her to wear it down. Don't attack her. Huh? But Prince Claude, why? Because I want to see her beautiful hair in all its glory. That's why. Thank you. This guy is actually speaking facts here. Claude said matter-of-factly, his smile a little scary. Unable to argue back against the prince, the women began looking uncomfortable. It looked like Claude was leaning on the "it's fate, I'm head over heels" narrative here too. No, I think he's just being in love. Incidentally, I don't remember giving you permission to address me by name. Ooh. Oh, but Lady Lefort just did. He gave her permission. As Claude said, it was considered extremely impolite to refer to a royal using their name instead of Your Highness. Agnes only did it because Claude told her to. But these girls didn't know that. They just thought she was being impudent. Them doing the same thing was meant to highlight how supposedly in the wrong Agnes was. Agnes is faultless. She is my special someone. What? Agnes and the 5 women all spoke in unison. Agnes, you should know this, girl. You got the agreement going on. Of course he's going to say that. Why wouldn't he? Quickly covering her mouth in horror, Agnes glanced at Claude, but his eyes were crinkled with a smile. What do you mean, special someone? Surely you've heard already. Oh, God. I've fallen head over heels for Agnes. I'm crazy about her. The 5 women's jaws dropped. So did Hello? Why is she so surprised? She knew that he was going to have to spread rumors about this, so why is him telling people about it such a shock to her? The 4th-born prince, second in line to the throne, had fallen for a commoner born. Jilted count's daughter with ominously pink hair. How is that ominous? It sounded ridiculous. So, if you got something you want to say to her, you can say it to me. I refuse to let anyone approach her with ill will. If there's nothing further, though, I suggest you girls head back to the party and get out of my sight. Claude's smile was charming, but his words had a cold, steely edge to them. The women exchanged glances before hurrying off as fast as they could. Kind of wish one of them would have tripped and fallen in some mud. Agnes, are you all right? Once the women were gone, Claude sat down beside Agnes. I'm fine. Sorry for the trouble. Would you tell me what they were saying to you? It's nothing worth hearing. I want to know. If it concerns you, he's gonna bug you until you tell him. They were alone now. He could drop the devoted suitor act. No, that should tell you that he's actually serious about this, because if he was not, and he was trying to do that agreement you guys were talking about, then it would only come up in public when people are around. Not when you're alone. The prince took things way... See, this, like I said, took things way too seriously. Still, perhaps she should meet him halfway and take things seriously, too. Under the circumstances. They talked about my hair, my common roads, my scandal. They said I mistook your intentions. They said I'm just your plaything. They told me not to get carried away, stuff like that. Ugh. As Agnes ticked off each thing on her fingers, Claude's expression... Uh-oh. That's not good. I don't think you want to tick this guy off. It grew darker and darker. Boy. I don't think she said anything, really. I don't think. How dare they? And what did you say? I mean, it's all pretty much true. I just haven't heard it to my face in a while. It gave me a good idea of what people are saying about me these days. Pretty sure only people saying that are jealous. The public dumping incident really had stained her name considerably. Now Agnes wasn't so sure that being seen with Claude would be enough to restore her reputation. Still, she'd already started this, so she had to see it through. Still, even if the negative gossip never stopped, then at the very least she could use this opportunity to make enough mushroom money to start a whole new life. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sell your mushrooms. You can get money that way. Anyway, this is what happens when I go against Philip's advice and start dressing up. The drab outfits really did serve a good purpose. Oh, Claude, please talk some sense into her. Please. Somebody, anybody that's not related to her, please give her the same advice. Or else he's not going to listen. So now Agnes had really seen firsthand just how sought after Claude was. Agnes? Claude cupped his hands around hers, even as she continued to clutch her water glass. Oh boy, here we go again, mushrooms. 2 mushrooms popped up on the back. Why is it always the gloves? On the back of his gloves. From the milk-white caps, Agnes thought they might have been Cuphophilus virginius, but she was too distracted by now to be sure. From now on, tell me anything that happens. I hate to think of you being treated poorly because of me. I won't have it. I must stop this at once. Women like them need to be held in check. Stop it? Claude nodded, plucked the mushrooms off, and then reached out for Agnes's hand once more. Agnes Lefort, would you dance with me? Huh? What? Why? The sudden change of subject and the intense look in Claude's eyes panicked Agnes and caused 3 more mushrooms to sprout up Claude's arm. It looked like more of those other mushrooms, but again, Agnes didn't have the mental capacity needed to identify them right now. I've made sure that the rumors are swirling about me sending you love letters and flowers every day, but a painting speaks 1,000 words. Let's go and show them in person. Hold on, you made sure that rumors were swirling? Yes, of course. I just made sure the truth is out. Now let's go. Claude took Agnes' hand and led her back to the ballroom. I want to see this as an anime! I really do! Agnes was still highly agitated. Maybe that was why a red egg-shaped mushroom was lying in the bottom of the glass Claude left on the table. Amanita Cadale Raids, whatever. It lay there so round, so still, almost as if it were sentient, watching Claude and Agnes as they disappeared in the center of the ballroom, where they immediately began to dance. He was as good a leader as last time, which helped Agnes calm down. Dancing like this, it was hard to believe that the handsome man twirling her around on the dance floor was a closeted mushroom pervert. I still can't get over that. Claude's fancy steps drew the eye of the nearby ladies and their dance partners. Royal status aside, Claude definitely had a magnetism that tended to attract others. That kind of happens when you end up being born royalty and you get all the, the lessons about manners and stuff. It'll tend to happen. Agnes fell out of place, dancing with him. Her role was nothing more than a woman repeller and mushroom sprouter. She didn't feel worthy of being a dance partner to someone as splendid as Prince Claude. Can we wrap it up now? What? Wrap what up? Claude leaning close to her. Uh-oh, bad move. Oh, now I get what the word means. I've heard that word before, and I never figured out what it was. I think that means kissing. Right? If I'm wrong, let me know. It looks like we're good. As Claude brought his face down to hers, the onlookers gasped. Agnes could hear the indignant shrieks of the women and the low, surprised murmurs of the men. Oh, I'll be very surprised if nobody comes in and steps in on this. Well, then again, they'd have to go through Claude to do it, and I don't think they'd want his wrath. Oh boy. It was almost as if Claude's handsome face had entranced the men as well, and they too resented Agnes for being his... What the fuck? No, I think they're jealous of him for having you. Agnes? Claude's face was right up against her. She could see his dark gray eyes so clearly. His Prussian blue hair brushed her forehead. Dang, that close? Agnes struck back in alarm. A deep orange mushroom popped up on Claude's arm. Not missing a beat of the dance, Claude casually picked it up. Based on the rounded shape and vivid orange hue, Agnes thought it might have been Pycnoporus cautionus, but Claude moved so fast she couldn't really be sure. Agnes was paralyzed by Claude's closeness and by the sweet scent she remembered smelling on him once before. Even though Philip was her fiancé, he'd rarely look at her when they danced. Philip was no good for you, girl. Don't be mad. Don't be upset. Be upset you didn't realize this sooner. Agnes never had a man bring his face so close to hers before. Of course she was nervous. This was all new to her. Now a white mushroom sprouted from Claude's the midsection? Why there? But again, he quickly plucked it off and stashed it away. It looked like another... Dang it, I cannot pronounce these freaking words. But again, Claude moved so fast, Agnes could never be sure. He really wasn't... Really? No, I don't think he's that. He really was a mushroom fetishist with the reflexes to match. Agnes found herself mildly exasperated with Claude. Did he have to be so extra? This is, I guess, his personality. He does everything 110%. And everything he did, your face is too close. And can we stop dancing now? I'm sure that's more than enough. Oh, boy. What's he planning? Now I'm a little nervous for her. No. We're just getting to the best part. The best part of what? Claude grinned upon seeing the look on Agnes' face. Oh, dear. Oh, now I'm curious. Oh, now I want to know, but at the same time, I gotta finish recording. Okay, guys, I'll see you all next time. Hopefully we'll find out what happened.